Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the new UI system that came out on June 22nd, update 1.7. We're going to kind of navigate it around a little bit because I've had a couple comments here and there saying that it's a little more confusing, and it really was confusing for me at first too. So we're going to kind of go through what's in each tab, where to find the promotions tab, where to find, your envoy and your monk and all of that. We're going to look at trying to figure out where those show up now, and just your tabs in general. So we're going to look at those and try to show you around a little bit more of the new UI. Alright, so I'm going to run this in the background, just have it going. So we can get to a point where we can see the promotions tab go up, because I need like another 2 weeks to be able to see that. So I will be showing you some of the original tabs here. So your first tab here is visibility. You click on that and that just shows you different things. So you can hit your zoning areas and you can see what areas you have zoned out. It's kind of similar to the painting areas, but this shows you everything, everywhere, and what you have zoned out and what you don't have zoned out. If you needed something zoned out ahead of time. Your minerals, if you click off of zoning areas, your minerals will show you where you can get specific minerals, and yeah, take a look. Anywhere that doesn't have one of those giant stone formations won't have anything, but anywhere that does, it will have a green area around it. Fertility, this will show you where you can farm for your hops, your wheat, anything of that type, grapes. So you take that off and you take desirability. This will show you where you can, where's most desirable for your people to live. So it'll show you your very high, your lows, your average, and all of that. It'll show you all of those different things of where your people would like to live. As you can see, I've got some very highs and some very not so much wanted areas in here. But yeah, this will show you the desirability of where people want to live. And then your desirability tooltip, which is already shown. And then your territory boundaries, you can take those off if you would like. It just shows you how far you can go, which is all your territory. That is the first tab, that is visibility. If you go to territory, this is where you can buy your territory, or you sell it. And then you'll see your outlines as well, and then you'll see the white outlines like normal, like you have been able to before. And this is all just your normal thing, just a different location. It still acts the same. You still buy the same, still goes the same rules and everything. It still shows you the same information. It's just in a different location. So this is your painting tab here, the third one in here. Like I said, this is like your visibility, except this is where you can actually go in and paint. Your residentials, it'll bring up all that information. When you click on it, and it does only have one toggle at a time, you do have to go back and retoggle it off if you want to move on. But it does show you, it does do the same thing like last time, it's just a different location, and you do have to retoggle it after to confirm that you don't want to use it anymore. You now have your build tab here. Your building tab has a few tabs on the inside. This is where it gets a little bit tricky sometimes, as it can be a little more chaotic to find exactly what you're looking for. So this first one here is going to be your all tab. This will have everything you have unlocked, everything that you can do. I actually went onto my game that I play on stream with, so you can see all the stuff. So if you're looking for one specific building, you can find it, and I'm going to try to show you kind of where it's at. So your first tab here, or your second tab here, is logistics. You're going to have five things in here. That's going to be your builder's workshop, your markets, your granaries, your warehouse, and your tavern. These are going to be like the first 4 things here that you need, and then your tavern is, your tavern. So you're going to have those 5 things in the second tab there. Your third tab is for resource production, so this will be like your sawmill, your lumber mill, your stone cutters, your mason's hut, your charcoal, cooperage, weaponsmith, iron smelter, forester camp, you know, all those buildings that help you produce your resources. So your wood, your stone, basically anything that has to do with that is going to be in that third tab there with resource production. Your fourth one is going to be food production, so this will be your fisher's hut, so you can send out your boats, your wheat, your flour mill area. I know I'm not using technical terms, but your wheat farm, your flour mill, your gathering huts, your dairy farm, bakery, cheesemaker, hunter's hut, and then you got your brewery and hop farm down there as well. So you have all those, and you, of course your well, because you have to have your wells in there. That's all in the fourth tab for food production. So those are another set of your important things. Like I said, I do have all of my stuff unlocked, I think, except like 4 things, which I just saw. I think I have to get an achievement for them to get those. But those are 4 things there that I don't have, but we'll go back into those later. So that'll be glass smelter, your jeweler's workshop, your gold smelter, your tailor's workshop, your weaver's hut, your sheep farm, and then of course your blacksmith. Those are all in the 5th tab there. Then once again, this is all under the 4th tab build. Sorry, 4th tab on the very bottom, it's under build. And so this is the 5th tab in the build section. Your 6th one here is your services, so your different types of church. If you have blueprints, some of them will give you churches, but you'll see basically the rustic and then the rustic church and the church. You'll see those 2 there for sure. If you have the legacy rustic church or the Romanesque church, you'll see those in there too. But you'll basically see that churches only in the 6th tab. On the 7th tab here of administration, you'll see your monastery, which is this building here, which will have like your honey, your grapes, your wine, anything that has to do with the monastery. That is all that has to do with that building. That's going to be in administration, as well as your manor and your keep. So those are the 3 things that you find there. In your 8th tab of decoration, this is where you're going to find your wooden signs, your trees, your statues, your fountains, all your anything decoration wise, you're going to find it there. The only thing that you're not going to find there looks like your masterpieces, which is the next tab. These are 4 of the things that are locked because I've already had them in use. I do have them, but they're already in use, so you might see them. Don't worry, it's probably because you already placed it. But yeah, here's 5 or 6 of the things in there for your masterpieces. Once you start getting those, you'll start seeing those in that tab. Your next one here is transportations. This is where you're going to see your bridges, your wooden and your stone. And then the last one here is your wall. And this is where you see your grass or your hedges, your stone walls, your wooden walls. You know, those are all going to be there in that last tab there. And a reminder, that is all in the build tab. So your next thing here is going to be the book. This is where you're going to see all your villagers, and you can sort them by their status, their name, their job, how happy they are, if they have something wrong with their station, all that stuff. So that'll be all in there. This will show you everything. As you can see, I've got a couple of very upset people. That's probably because they haven't just gone and gotten their food or whatnot. So that'll be all of that. I usually try to sort everybody by their job, so I can see how many unemployed people I have here. I do have 5 monks, so we'll get up to the top part of the UI there in a second, and I'll go into that. Your second tab here in your book is going to be your buildings. So this will be all of your workshops areas. So your beekeepers, your bailiffs, your blacksmith, your woodcutters, your sawmills, your fisher's huts, all of those are going to be in here. I think I have a couple things. So right here, you'll see that it's 2 out of 3. It will come up red. The number will come up red what if it's not full. And then I can go ahead and add somebody in there if need be, as I have a couple in here that I could use too. And then your soldiers will be gray, your vine grows and all that stuff. So your monastery areas will be grayed out as well, green but grayed out. And then your current status of the building is going to be over here. It'll tell you, hey, it's missing some raw materials, meaning it's probably missing some iron for my blacksmith, or the storage is full so they can't keep working, or that it's just working fine. It'll tell you if there's something going on with it. It'll tell you what the name of the building is here. You can see its location. And then you can see how many workers you have assigned. Your third tab will be your trade. And it has 2 inside, of course. So your resources is over here of where you like to sell, like to not. It's not exactly the same, but it is very similar. It's just different, or laid out differently. So sell all above the value of, I'm selling all my planks above the value of 75. I'm trying to get rid of them. If I wanted to buy, it'd just be the same thing, and then no trade, and then of course stockpile, which prevents villagers from using them. So once they're stored. So it's very, like I said, very similar. It's just a different layout. And then your neighboring cities, this will tell you if you have your trade enabled, what they sell, what they buy, what they're allied with. They're allied with clergy, labor, or kingdom. It'll tell you a little bit about their story and what they buy and whatnot, and if you have the trade enabled. Your fourth one is your budget. I personally don't go in here a whole lot, but this shows you your expenses of last month and then this month that you're in, and then your income, and then weekly. You can go by last week and this week, as well as your expenses and your trade and all your stuff. It breaks down everything in there for you. Your estates, this is where it shows you like your trade bonuses, your apiaries, your workshops for specific things, your fisher's hut. This is where you get all that. And then your splendor will be shown on the top, or on their photo, but on the left side. So it's the little, it's not the circle one, it's the banner looking one. So the clergy, the kingdom, the labor, and then your influence for each of those is on this side, or the right side there. Next is going to be your army. This is where you will see what missions you have accepted or are available. This is where this gets tricky. Usually you can just bring up your military missions and everything just pops in here. But this one's different, so I'll be back for this in a second. This shows you your soldiers, if they're wounded, if they're fully trained, if they're available, what strength they're at, who they are, what they are. Your battle history, this will tell you if there's been a casualty. So my last ones, there have not been any casualties. If there have been a casualty, it'll say the number of deaths and how many wounded. But if there's no deaths, it won't tell you. It'll say none. But you can go look through and it'll say like who got wounded and all that in there. And it'll tell you if it's a victory or a fail, what the difficulty was, what the name of the mission was, so basically help requested, and then what month and day it was that they got back. So going back to the missions tab here, you will find down here on the bottom left, since everything is popping up on the bottom left now instead of up here. So the bottom left, right here, you'll also see a military mission available. And you can hover over it, don't click it, but hover over it, and you can tell the difficulty, how far it is, what your rewards are, and what happens if you fail. And then you hit I'll prepare my troops right away, and this will put it into your missions. If you say let me think about it, it just puts it back where it was, and you say no, this is just you literally saying no, I don't want it. Saying I'll prepare my troops right away, and now in your missions you'll see available, which is 1. And it's a help requested. If you hit that check mark right here, it'll say prepare troops, and it'll say help requested, and it'll say the little splurb about how, what you need to do. And then you hit prepare troops, and it'll bring up all of your soldiers that are available and what they are, fully trained, wounded, all that. So this is where you would put that in there. This is your possibilities down here. How many soldiers you have selected. Let's just put in 7. They're all good. So my probability has become to extreme. And I hit send troops. And then that is out of there and it moves down to your in progress, which you can see I still have a difficult one from earlier. And they're coming back. And then this will tell you your status on that. That is now how you do your military missions. I also have another one down here. So here's how I do it again. I see that this is difficult. I hit I'll prepare my troops right away. Go up to the circle here. Go prepare troops. I'm going to go into my soldiers. Just add all my soldiers that I possibly can into it, because why not? Because you always know that they end up going into further battle. So add everybody I can in here. There you go. There's 35 send troops. There they are. They're regrouping, and now they're going to leave. And that is how you deal with the military missions now. It is in your 6th tab here in your book. Hold up in the missions tab. And they will show up down here where it says opportunities. They'll show up just underneath it. And you can see what quests you have. So your military missions that you do have going, you can hover over them on the left side, and it shows you what's happening with them, what the difficulty is, what your chances of whatever reward you might get are. That is all down on the bottom left. And then your last one here is your logs. This just shows you what the important things are. So send soldiers to help the king. You added that into your quest. And then it says like no access to service, food, or water. That's just saying that one person doesn't have access to those things, which means they're probably working. 90% of the time for me, it's a soldier. This will also say what day your promotion available thing showed up, and then it'll say like, hey, during this week 0 people decided to join. This quest has expired. This just shows you everything that pops up, your monthly report, whatever. That's all in your book. You can also change your name and your village here too. So that's all in your book here. The last tab here is to close all windows, which if you had any windows open, it just closes it all. Up here, we're going to start with coins. When we get to villagers, I'll show you the promotions. Coins. Here, I have 18,057 over 11,008, or out of 11,000. Which means I've gotten some stuff out of the military stuff, and I am prepared to do that. So this will tell you what is keeping how much. So my base is just 500, because that's the 500 that you start with. My wooden keep is holding 150, and then my lord mainer is holding 11,220. You could disable your monthly reports here if you would like to. You just hit that button and it's disabled, then you hit it again and it's enabled. And then if you go here, this is your average daily balance. So this is saying where your money's coming from, what you're losing it on, and it'll give you your average daily balance. If you go ahead and hit this little arrow thing here, it closes that back up. As you can see, this is your monthly report here. This is showing you your upkeep for the month, your market for the month, and then your territories, your trade, all that. Now, if you go to the very top here where it says resources, you hit the plus. This is going to show you all of what you have, kind of like that sidebar that used to come out over here, where it'd show you what you had. This is basically now this, but up top you can hover over it and you can just click it. It'll stockpile things for you. So if I hit the bit grapes, it'll have a little arrow underneath it saying that's stockpiling and they can't use it. And then you just hit it again and it goes away. So this will show you all of what you have. This will be like your more important resources, so your food, your wood, your stone, and then your clothes. And then underneath here will be everything extra. So your jewelry, your certain type of metals, so your quartz, your iron, your coal, and all that stuff. Your grapes, your milk, your flour, all that will be all shown down in here. And then you just hit that button and it goes away again. Your villagers. So you have 4 new tabs here. Your population, this will show you where your newcomers, your serfs, your commoners, your citizens, soldiers, novices, and knights. This will show you how many you have. And then, of course, your monks as well. This will show you how many that you have, what your population is total. And then immigration, this is saying that you're allowing people to come in. Housing, this is saying that, yes, you can, or they're allowed to upgrade housing and whatnot. Your happiness, this will show you what's missing and what's having an effect. So right now, water, food, comfort, and service, meaning that I've got too many people working and that they need to go get, or they need to take their break, but they haven't. I am at 85% right now. I have 486 villagers, so it's bound to happen. I have been up to 97 for quite a while, except during the water, or during the bad weather, your happiness, it tends to go down a little bit. But once all that goes away, which it just did, I will get most of that back up. Villagers unemployed. So this will show you how many... This will show you how many villagers that you have employed. This also includes your monks. So just remember how many monks you have. I have 5 monks. And then, of course, everybody else is employed with, like, the vineyards and the grapes. Or, sorry, the vineyards and the honeys and all that stuff. Those are all jobs. Yes, they're considered monks, but they have jobs. This is saying how many jobs, or how many monks that I have that aren't employed, but are still, they're monks. So I've got 5, so I just need to take this number here and subtract 5 out of it, and that'll show me how many people I can employ to different areas that, like, need it. So if I had 2 forager huts that needed people, I can split all 6 of those. But as you saw earlier, I did put some people in there. So I don't have that when I hit play. It should go down to 8. Immigration. This will show you, like, what it is. So what breakdown of it. So right now my immigration is low. People don't really need to come here. They don't necessarily want to because my employment rate is really low right now. But the happiness is high. The residential space is high. But it's just that employment rate. If I had a higher employment rate, I would get more people kicking in. So that also helps you to figure out what you need to fix in your village to have more people come in. Underneath your villagers, you'll also see no access to water, and then it will specify a specific villager. Like this guy right here has no access to water, probably because he's just working. Your promotions. This is an important tab. My promotion video that I had put out a couple months ago, it's the same thing. In the same way you promote, everything's the same. It just moved, so it's harder to find. And I've gotten a couple comments on it saying, "Hey, like this isn't right now. I don't understand." Right here where it says opportunities, same place you find your military missions down here. You click it. It also brings it up here on the left side. It'll say promotions available. Is the time of the month where you can promote your citizen or your villagers to, you know, higher. Some of them expect it. Blah 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 blah. And then it'll come up here. It'll bring this menu up. The menu does look a little different, but it's the same. You can see their workplace, their home, them. You can see their job here, what they will expect once they get this promotion, how much it costs, and how happy they are. So I'll go down. I don't want to do citizens right now. I don't want to do soldiers exactly right now. This guy actually. What do these people want? They want goods and luxury. A lot of my soldiers are upset because they just get stuck. So we're gonna go ahead and promote one to a soldier, or novices, sorry. To a soldier. And then my serfs, here's where it gets tricky. I know I've said it a million times in my promotion video. You just kind of want to make sure that you have a relevant area for their workplace, for their to build a house. And you do want to promote slowly, so you're not just promoting everybody all at once. So right now I'm going to view this workplace. This workplace is, you can also move this menu. So their workplace is one of these buildings here. Along with this, I do have it available out here. So, and it does stay highlighted. You can barely see it, but it does stay highlighted right here as who you're looking at. I'm going to go ahead and promote this guy here. He'll be able to make himself a house. I do want to promote the same person that's working with them. And then it'll show you all your other people. For instance, like a miner. He's working out here. I want people to move out there, so I'm going to move him and him out there, as well as these guys. This will tell you what they lack. A lot of the time, it's literally just because they haven't gotten that. So now I'm done with promoting, and I'm gonna hit enough promotions for now, but you can also just sort them by their arrival, their name, their job, how happy they are, and it'll sort them out that way too. So enough promotions for today. Dismiss. And once again, that does come up right where it says quest down here. There'll be a thing that says opportunities, and it will come up down there on the left, bottom left, instead of the top left like it used to. It's all now on the bottom left. So this will be where you see your envoys. This will be where you see your monks. It'll say all of that stuff down there on the bottom left. So now that I've moved those people in, this is kind of the same. It's a little bit different than what it used to be. It just tells you, where its location is at, how many people are going to be in there. You can see who's in there. You can pause the construction, prioritize the construction, what it takes, who's on the job, if it's ongoing or if it's already built. As you can see, this one over here is also being built. You can rename the house. This will tell you how much maintenance it costs, so your upkeep for it, what level it is, what's the density. You can upgrade it, and you can destroy the building and view their workplace. So right here, another opportunity came up. It's my bailiff available. So I'm going to click that, and this is saying that I can do all these, which is like my mineral deposits and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw her on a random one and call it good. This one just upgraded, so it moved in those two farmers that I did just upgrade from here into that house, which is the density. And these people here will move in. There's a house there, so this allows everybody to move in. And now you see here a monk is approaching your village. All that stuff is going to show you where it's at. If you click it, it's going to show you exactly where they're at, and when they get there, it'll give you a countdown for how many days you have left. Last thing up here is buildings. This will show you if you're missing resources for your specific constructions. This will show you how many buildings. I have 0, and it'll cycle through them as well. And then no workers assigned for anything. Like if I put out a new building and there is no workers available, it'll show me which ones. And then for quests that you accept from the monks, if you go down here on the bottom left, it'll be under your quest, just like your military missions. It'll tell you how many days left. All you have to do is just click it once you have it available. Nothing else, you just click it. And then here, say, missing raw materials. Some workplaces require raw materials, so you click it, and it'll show you to the first building. Mine is my iron smelter. I am missing, looks like coal. Yep, I'm missing coal and my iron smelter to keep going. And it'll toggle through everything that's missing something. And I have 5, I did have 6, so something just figured it out. When you get somebody to join your village, it'll be underneath the villagers tab. It'll say plus blank villagers. This last thing up here in the buildings area is how many storages are full. This will go through every single storage that's full, saying what it is. This will be job places. This will be granaries. This will be your warehouses. Like right now, most of my fishermen have mostly full storages. If you click onto a villager, just give me one random one. That's not a villager. There. This guy. Bearing well. I don't know if that's really how to say it or not. That's what we're gonna say. This will say his needs. So this will say what they need, how low they are on it, what they need to do for it. So service, if you didn't know what you need to do for service, they just need to be able to go to a church. So you need to have a church available. Comfort, just underneath their roof. Food and water, of course, is market in the well. And this is a serf. It'll tell you what they are, their name, what they're doing, what their job is, how far their workplace is from their home, how happy they are, and what their needs are. And then of course you can view their workplace, their home, and the villager itself. You can click on a building. It'll tell you how many people are in it, like the churches. You could ring the bells. all that stuff that you usually were able to do. The houses, you could go in there and it'll tell you what the desirability and everything is. The workplaces, it'll tell you how many people, show you who you have in there, who you can employ in there, if it's working fine, what the upkeep is, and what the storage is. If you go to build, if it has an exclamation point, this is going to show you something that you can now do. So I went to build and then went to decorations. I now have a knight statue that's available for me to build that I can have now. Not the same one as the masterpiece, but it's another decoration that I can have. You might get an exclamation point down there every now and again. It just shows you, like, if you have researched a blueprint through your bailiff, it'll show up down there too. At the very bottom left there, you'll see your month, your week, your day. You'll have this little bubble with an exclamation point. This will show you your current effects. Right now, this is my trade bonuses, a new route which was unlocked because of my specific masterpiece. The soldiers' recovery speed is at 2%. Significantly improve the desirabilities because of my fountain that I have. When it's bad weather, the bad weather thing will be down there too. It'll show you what it does. You can move it, you increase your speed, and you can pause it, or you can hit 1, 2, and 3. 1 for the first speed, 2 or 1 for times 1, 2 for times 2, and 3 for times 3, and spacebar for to pause the game and unpause the game. You can also bring up your book by hitting tab. That'll bring up your specific whatever one you left off on. So buildings, it'll bring up my buildings again. And then up at the top right here, you have settings. This is where you can save your load game, your achievements. Top left, you have your help. This will be how to, like, your tutorials. I try to walk you guys through some of them. This will be like all your tutorials, how to get them, how to, all that stuff. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions, please let me know. I know the new UI is very confusing. It was really confusing for me. But we can get there together. So if you have any questions, please ask. If you need something a little more in depth, I do have other Foundation videos. If I don't have a video on it, let me know and I will try to make a video on it, and I will try to kind of move up to what you guys need there. But yeah, don't forget to follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Raviolion, and comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time on another video. I hope this helps.